The Islamic State, the group formerly known as ISIS, now controls huge parts of western Iraq. Question now is, can the group manage to govern it? A militant group with a de facto government wouldn't be unheard of. Hamas runs the Gaza Strip, and Hezbollah arguably controls parts of Lebanon. The Islamic State hopes to do the same with its newly acquired territory in Iraq. Already, the group has imposed a strict interpretation of Sharia law, banning smoking and alcohol and requiring women to wear the full veil. And they've cracked down on anyone who disobeys, boasting of their beheadings, floggings, and public executions on social media. One Iraqi told the Global Post anyone caught smoking has his finger cut off, and they whip people with cables for watching the World Cup. That brutality so far has helped the insurgents bully the locals into submission, but it could also be the group's undoing. As a contributor for CNN writes, recent history shows the plan sows the seeds of its own defeat, ultimately creating more enemies and closing off any possibility that the population will embrace the group's rule. Think back to Iraq in 2006, when the same group, known then as Al-Qaeda in Iraq, had control of Anbar province. Their ruthless tactics drew condemnation even from Al-Qaeda's leadership. Fellow Sunnis turned against the militants in what was dubbed the Sunni Awakening. Then U.S. troops, with the help of those Sunni tribes, were able to drive out the insurgents in that 2006 surge. History would suggest the Islamic State might again meet the same fate if it continues to alienate the local population. But consider the reports of the Islamic State opening religious schools, providing food and fuel to residents, offering services like trash pickup and mail delivery. This model of governance is reminiscent of another Islamic group we're all familiar with. As a correspondent for the BBC says, the Islamic State appears to have pulled straight from the Taliban's playbook. This is exactly how the Taliban started out in Afghanistan in 1994, gradually increasing their territory until the 9/11 attacks on the U.S. provoked the campaign that drove them from power in 2001. Although the group's extremist views have alienated some, an analyst for the Boston Globe says the group has done one thing right. It has created a clear and to some compelling idea of citizenship and state building in a region almost completely bereft of either. For Newsy, I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn, multiple sources, a broader view.